Hello, thank you for joining us on the news. I'm Ruth Aguele. My sign language interpreter is Taiwo Ozoma. Why don't we start with the headlines? President Bola Tinubu inaugurates new Abuja arterial road, says his administration will continue to invest in infrastructure to stimulate the nation's growth. Nigeria rallies global support at Ocean Conference by calling for the prompt ratification of the biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. And United States and China agree on trade framework after high-level talks in England. Demonstrating his understanding of importance of quality infrastructure to national development, President Bola Tinubu says his administration will continue to invest in infrastructure to stimulate general growth of the country. The president stated this as he inaugurated arterial road 16 connecting the Shehu Shagari Way with the Wole Soyinka Way, Jahi in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbahu Wahab reports.
The new season of project inaugurations in the FCT continues with the arterial road N16. The road, a continuation of the Shehu Shagari Way, starts from the popular Nikon Junction through Gishiri Village and Wole Soyinka Way, Jahi to Katampe. It includes an interchange, 2 bridges, a flyover with street lighting. The 3.7-kilometer dual carriageway was initiated by the current administration and executed in 8 months. For President Bola Tinubu, this is continuation of commitment to urban transformation by his administration, particularly having realized the underdevelopment of the Abuja master plan.
This road will ease traffic, congestion around central Abuja, and improved connectivity to developing districts such as Katampe and Jahi. It will stimulate housing and business growth while serving as a foundation for future city integration. We recognize that our nation's development is linked to the quality of infrastructure, connecting people, cities, and industries. There's no way industrialization will flourish without good roads.
The president appreciated the cooperation of the indigents in the actualization of the project.
For the first time, they were paid their compensation 200%. I said, look, I don't want anything that will stop the construction of this road. And when they were paid, they were not only paid, I made sure that they were given other areas to go and live. The essence of renewed hope is to make you to be happy. You have lost confidence in government. But now, the president has said, no, you can't lose confidence. You can't. Government is here to make you happy.
We are so elated to be part of this important, great milestone and also tremendous achievement. We say thank you for the continuous support and commitment to the infrastructure development in the federal capital city and also the satellite town and Nigeria at large.
Commemoration of the Renewed Hope administration's 2nd anniversary continues with more projects lined up by the FCT administration for inauguration. In Abuja, Musbah Wahab, NTA News.
In other news, the 68th UN Commission for Africa meeting is underway in Nigeria, focusing on innovation, AI, and creative industries and tourism. Ongofensha Ngwanyi reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima emphasized tourism's significance in economic diversification, citing its potential to create jobs, generate revenue, and promote cultural exchange.
Tourism has the potential to enhance local entrepreneurship and community development by supporting small businesses such as tour operators, local artisans, hospitality providers and service industries. Tourism creates new opportunities for entrepreneurship.
This year's theme, boosting social impact and education and tourism through AI, innovation and creative industries, underscores this point. But the future of African posterity depends on how boldly we harness our culture, creativity, and technology to empower people.
Meeting is very important. Let's talk, let's discuss, let's argue sometimes about food and make Africa a nice showcase for everyone.
But they should see the sector not about entertainment alone. They should see the sector as a sector that can provide development, employment generation, revenue generation, and enhance the social consequity of our nation.
As Africa's tourism industry recovers and grows, the 68th CAF Conference serves as a platform for shaping the future of tourism, highlighting the importance of innovative strategies in unlocking the sector's potential. The 113th International Labour Organization Conference has proven to be both eventful and reassuring, particularly for Nigerian workers. Delegates from Nigeria expressed confidence in the country's renewed commitment to workers' safety, as articulated in a key presentation by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Megari Dengyadi. Let's hear from Ignatius Onkwa.
The annual conference of the International Labour Organization is a forum for appraisal and setting new standards for workers and work environment. The informal sector remains a vital engine of the Nigerian economy, employing millions and significantly contributing to the nation's gross domestic product. Nigerian delegates at the 113th ILO conference are now expressing renewed hope as the federal government renews its commitment to channeling more attention towards this critical sector. Under President Tinubu's administration, efforts are underway to ensure that workers in the informal economy gain access to welfare and compensation schemes similar to those enjoyed in the formal sector.
We need to develop the informal sector so that we can transit more to a formal sector where these things will add more value to the development of Nigeria and again increase the GDP of our country.
Not necessarily migrating them, but providing the sort of benefits that the formal economy gets and derive from initiatives like this employee compensation to ensure that it also works for them.
Employers are also aligning with the government's drive to promote equity and fair treatment across all levels of labor. A major highlight from the 2025 Labour Conference is the International Labour Organization's strong push for the implementation of health, safety and environment, HSE policies in all workplaces, formal or informal, marking a crucial step towards improving conditions for Nigerian workers across board.
It is to the credit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that jobs have been retained, especially in the public sector. We have close to almost 1 million public employees, and we have not witnessed downsizing, right-sizing, retrenchment. We shouldn't take this for granted.
Well, it's been an exciting session at the 2025 conference of the ILO. That is the 113th session, as the organization also sets standards for the protection and prevention of biological hazards in workplaces. From Geneva, Switzerland, Ignatius Onkwa, NTA News.
Nigeria has made a strong call for the prompt ratification of the Biodiversity Beyond the National Jurisdiction Agreement and a significant increase in funding for blue economy initiatives to ensure the protection and sustainable use of the world's oceans. Delivering Nigeria's national statement on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the ongoing United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice, France, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, emphasized that urgent and collective global action is needed to secure the health of the oceans for future generations.
On behalf of Nigeria, I urge us all to take bold, urgent action to protect our oceans and prioritize SDG 14 for the sake of our future generations, but they must be backed by political will, scientific rigor, and global cooperation. Nigeria remains committed to working with all ocean stakeholders to advance shared ocean priorities and can call on every state to join us on this vital life effort.
Demonstrating regional leadership, he said Nigeria has also spearheaded efforts among West African nations, validating a regional roadmap for the development of a proposal to designate a highly protected high seas marine protected area in the convergence zone of the Canary and Guinea currents.
Nigeria supports the adoption of the draft Nice Ocean Action Declaration and Plan to accelerate collective action on SDG 14. We urge all ocean actors, partners, and investors to contribute meaningfully, both technically and financially, to blue finance and the broader transfer of marine science.
The minister highlighted several domestic initiatives that Nigeria is implementing to strengthen its ocean governance, which includes, but not limited to, the adoption of a national blue economy policy aimed at incentivizing sustainable diversification into ocean-based industries, as well as the revision of Nigeria's national biodiversity strategy and action plan to align with global biodiversity targets. Pope Leo XIV has met with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres during a private audience at the Vatican. The meeting with the UN chief took place in the Pope's study in the Paul VI Audience Hall before the Pope's morning general audience in St. Peter's Square. In a brief video clips made available by the Vatican media, Guterres congratulated the Pope while Pope Leo thanked him. Guterres later met with Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Vatican Secretary of State, and Archbishop Paul Gallagher, Vatican Foreign Minister. During the cordial talks with the Secretariat of State, the Holy See expressed support for the United Nations' commitment to world peace. They also discussed various ongoing processes and forthcoming summits organized by the United Nations, as well as the difficulties the organization faces in addressing various crises currently unfolding around the world. It added that the conversation also touched on specific situations of conflict and instability. The 80th session of the UN General Assembly is scheduled for September 9 to 23 in New York. Guterres last met with Pope Francis at the Vatican in December 2019 for a 40-minute closed-door meeting and to record an 8-minute joint video message calling for peace and an end to injustice worldwide. Togo's President Faure Gnassingbe is facing growing pressure following a government clampdown on protests calling for his resignation over recent changes in the constitution that could effectively keep him in power indefinitely. Justin Bem-Onyi reports.
Activists condemned the arrest and alleged maltreatment of dozens of people following staged protests late last week in Togo's capital Lomé and on social media. The Togolese leader, who has ruled since 2005 after the death of his father, was sworn in as president of the Council of Ministers in May. The powerful role has no official term limits, and he is eligible to be re-elected by Parliament indefinitely. Opposition politicians have denounced the move as a constitutional coup. About half of the 80 protesters who were arrested were released late Monday. However, at least 25 remain in custody, a local rights group said, urging authorities to release the others. In addition to the release of the remaining detainees, what the Togolese now want is the end of the regime, which can no longer offer anything to the people after 20 years of absolute and repressive power of Faure Gnassingbe, said a coalition of political groups known as Hands Off My Constitution. Demonstrations are rare in Togo, as they have been banned in the country since 2022, following a deadly attack at Lomé's main market. The latest change in government structure has been widely criticized in a region threatened by rampant coups and other threats to democracy. Public prosecutor Talaka Mawama has defended the arrests and described the protests as part of a revolt against the institutions of the republic. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. As part of efforts to familiarize law students with the role of ECOWAS Court in regional governance, contribution to the protection of human rights and economic integration, the court is holding an inaugural moot court competition featuring participants from 8 Nigerian universities. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayembe reports.
ECOWAS Court of Justice serves as a key judicial organ within the West African sub-region, promoting regional integration, protecting human rights and ensuring adherence to community laws. This it has achieved over the years by delivering landmark rulings that have shaped the legal and human rights landscape in West African sub-region. The inaugural moot court competition by the ECOWAS Court of Justice is an innovative avenue to educate law students about the court's role and equip them with practical advocacy skills and fostering regional legal cooperation. Thus, by involving faculties of law from universities in ECOWAS member states, the initiative seeks to build a bridge between academic learning and real-world legal practice.
And my lord, in this case, the respondent states strongly and vehemently refuse to allow their citizens participate in governance by giving a ban on protest.
Spending the total of 9 minutes to address so many people. So my co-counsel.
President and the Registrar of ECOWAS Court of Justice said they want to build a future generation of legal practitioners that will uphold the philosophy and culture of the regional jurisprudence.
Participating, you are not only honing your legal skills, but also contributing to the development of a more informed and justice-conscious West Africa.
Work with lawyers, and the sooner those lawyers are familiar with the procedure, with the rules, and with the jurisprudence of the court, the better it is. Because a good lawyer do a good judge, a good judgment.
The week-long competition is expected to raise awareness among students about ECOWAS operations and contributions, as well as enhance their advocacy and reasoning skills in law. From Suleja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
In line with the digitalization policy of the federal government, the entire civil and public service will go paperless by 31st December this year. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, made this known at a World Press briefing ahead of the 2025 Civil Service Week and the International Civil Service Conference, scheduled for 20th through to 28th June in Abuja. Hamman Jabani reports that the head of the service emphasized the importance of media collaboration in providing Nigerians with accurate and professional reportage.
The first ever International Civil Service Conference is said to be a major highlight of the 2025 Civil Service Week, aims at fast-tracking much-needed transformation in the nation's civil service with the theme Rejuvenate, Innovate and Accelerate. The conference will feature renowned speakers from Asia, Europe and Africa and is expected to attract over 5,000 participants both physically and virtually. The goal is to promote innovation, share reform strategies and strengthen governance systems that are responsive, accountable and citizen-focused. The long-week civil service is expected to be a defining moment in Nigeria's effort to reposition its civil service into modern, development-driven institution capable of leading both at regional and global levels.
To lead a world-class civil service that delivers and accelerates national development. And so with that vision in mind, we opted to begin to engage with civil service leaders and civil servants from across Nigeria and across the globe.
The event will also serve as a reflection of Nigeria's deep commitment to institutional renewal, human capital development, and the ongoing drive towards a 21st century civil service that delivers effectively and equitably to the Nigerian people.
The 2025 Civil Service Week, a significant event in our calendar, will feature a series of spiritually enriching, intellectually engaging, and socially rewarding events designed to celebrate excellence in the public service, reflect on reforms, and promote a unified vision for a stronger civil service.
Responding to questions from journalists, head of the civil service affirmed that the performance management system is on course and digitization effort across the civil service is yielding results, including war rooms and various online platforms, with more innovations on the way to further enhance service delivery. She commended the media for their continued support in recent months and called for sustainable collaboration and partnership to help inform and engage the Nigerian public effectively. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has felicitated with Alhaji Ahmadu Adamu Muazu, former governor of Bauchi State and former chairman of the People's Democratic Party, on his 70th birthday. President Tinubu describes Alhaji Muazu as an accomplished public servant and frontline politician who has remained relevant for his strength of character and dignified comportment. Adamu Muazu was governor of Bauchi State, whose tenure was known for implementing developmental projects and initiatives that made a remarkable difference in the lives of Bauchi State citizens through substantial investments in education, health, and infrastructural development. Serving as national chairman of the PDP between 2014 and 2015, though the party lost the 2015 presidential election to the All Progressives Congress, Muazu placed democratic values and the strengthening of political institutions in the country above party interests, conceding victory in the elections. On this occasion of his landmark birthday, President Tinubu wished Adamu Muazu many years laden with peace, good health, and continued dedication to the common good. The Nigerian Television Authority has stressed the need for effective collaboration with the Nigerian Army in sensitizing the public on the critical role of the civilian population in sharing intelligence in the fight against banditry in the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dambas, stated this during a visit by the Acting Director, Nigerian Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anele, to NTA headquarters in Abuja.
The Nigerian Army has for decades been conducting internal security operations in different parts of the country. This is to safeguard lives and property, paving way for socio-economic development. To enhance these operations, the citizens need to understand the operations and activities of the Army, to also facilitate the provision of intelligence report from the grassroots. This informs the visit of the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, to NTA on possible areas of collaboration.
The essence of visiting you today is just to seek ways to collaborate with you. NTA is our own national TV, so whatever we do as a military, we deem it fit that it should be propagated through your medium, being a credible one, then seek for ways that we could better collaborate to tell our own stories.
This request falls in line with NTA mandate, and for the Director General, Salihu Abdulhamid Dambos, represented by the Executive Director News, Ayo Adewoyi, NTA will leverage its wide reach to sensitize the civilian population on their role in fighting the common enemy of the nation.
There has always been that conflict of trust between the media and the security operatives. When we have better understanding, we'll do it better. For us in the NTA, that is what we are established to do. Trust and the ability to protect the national integrity, that is what we are. We study the situation. We put national interest first in whatever we do.
Lieutenant Colonel Apollina Anele, the first female Nigerian Army Public Relations Officer, was appointed on the 22nd April 2025. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And just before we go, let's find out how tomorrow's weather will look like. And we're done. Thank you for your time. I'm Ruth Aguwele. My sign language interpreter is Taiwo Ozoma.